My name is Felicia Jimenez. I'm with Walsh Gallegos, Trevino, Russo, and Kyle. We are a law firm. We represent school districts. We are so happy to be here and join you guys and listen to your students. I'm going to hand it over to the girls so they can get their presentation started.
Okay, so good morning, everybody. We are high schoolers from Bastrop, Texas. We go to two sister schools, Bastrop High School and Cedar Creek High School. Our district is Bastrop ISD, and we're here to talk to you about why student council should be either stronger in your district, or if your district doesn't have one, why you should have them. So, what is the culture like between our two schools? We're going to talk to you a little bit about that. We're also going to talk to you about how our district is set up, and I'm going to let Alex. Oh yeah, we're going to introduce ourselves first. That would be a good idea.
Do we really need a microphone? Are you guys okay?
Yeah, can you guys hear us if we don't have it?
Use it?
Yes. Okay, it's a little more comfortable without it. Okay.
Depends on how well you want that video to come out.
Oh, okay, maybe. We'll be okay. We're all pretty loud people. Okay, so I'm Zoe Cross. I'm a junior at Bastrop High School, and I'm our student council president.
I'm Taylor Gertz. I'm a junior at Cedar Creek High School, and I'm also our student council president.
I'm Alex Mitchell. I'm a junior at Bastrop High School, and I am my student council's treasurer and public relations officer.
I'm Rachel Ramirez. I'm a junior at Cedar Creek High School, and I'm a student council officer.
All right, so Bastrop High School is the school that I and Zoe go to. It's a 5A school. We feel like it's a pretty small town, but the school itself is actually a 5A. It's a rural community. You probably know us from the Bastrop wildfires. That's what we're most known for. We're our community. The best part about that, though, is that our community is able to come together and unify and really no matter Bastrop, Cedar Creek, if you don't go to school, elders, all of them, we're able to come together and rebuild from that. So that's what I'm most proud of from Bastrop.
There's a picture. Funny enough, there's no pictures of our school on the internet. But we were looking for this, we could find your school and not our own. So here's our football team.
There's no pictures.
There's no pictures of our school.
So me and Taylor are from Cedar Creek High School. Cedar Creek and Bastrop are sister schools, 10 minutes down the road from each other. So we've pretty much grown up with Zoe and Alex and the rest of the council and the schools our whole life. As Alex mentioned, we're a 5A school, but it feels pretty small to us because, Bastrop is 2 exits and our school, off the highway. Cedar Creek is right off the highway, so you probably go through it. Everybody goes through Bastrop. Nobody stays in it. But we've got a nice little community that we center around. So Cedar Creek, we find ourselves making the travel to Bastrop whenever we do. That's why we connect as a council, because we don't have our own personal community to go to and to help out. So we get together and kind of help out with all of the Bastrop County and even kind of surrounding counties around it.
And as she said, our school is more of the rural, spread out one, and theirs is more in town and central, which creates our district as very diverse. And we cover a large area, so you can say our district is a pretty large district for what it is. But the community of it is, and the culture of it is, we're very connected as much as we are, and especially it shows in our student councils, which is why we're here. Our student councils are very close, despite the rivalry between our two schools, as our two schools are sister schools, but have huge rivals, our sports and stuff like that. But aside from that, our student councils are very close. If we want to talk about our council, our advisors are Brian Meyer and Miss St. Clark, and then their advisor was Mrs. Hancock. And a funny story is that Miss Hancock and Mrs. St. Clark are actually best friends. So our councils, they're the same person. So as we go out and go to retreats, conferences, and stuff, we represent our schools, but we also represent our county and our district and our community as one, because we're so close. And I think our advisors being best friends kind of helps it out. But we share a lot in what we do, which is explained throughout the rest of our presentation. So that's
their school.
Cedar
There was a
School.
picture.
We're the newest.
Yeah, there's a new school. They have all the money.
Bastrop is the original school. My dad went there.
built it.
And then
We're Bastrop 2.0.
Okay, so before we start this, we're going to ask a few questions within your group. So within your table,
Within your table, or move around. If you could find a partner that is not from your board or anything like that, it would be way better because you're going to learn a lot more.
So introduce yourselves, obviously. And the first question we're going to ask and have you discuss within your table is, what do you know? Well, yeah.
What do you know about student council right now? Before our presentation, before we share a lot of the in-depth stuff we do, what do you already know about student councils within your district?
All right, now that we've talked a little bit within our groups about what student council is in your district.
You know what to do? Tell everybody to clap twice.
Are we all acquainted?
Now that we've talked a little bit in our groups about our districts and our schools, we're going to have Taylor talk about
We're going to talk about what student council actually is. So student council is a student-led organization within our school. It gets students out into the community. It makes student leaders. It develops leadership skills and we lead student-led activities with our school, such as dodgeball, different things. So basically, what we talked about in your group, what student council is in your district. Now we're explaining you what student council actually is, a student-led organization promoting leadership. Okay, so within student council, we are part of a larger organization. If any of y'all attended, there's a previous session on TASB.
Those are our state officers.
Those are our state
officers.
For this organization. So this organization is a nonprofit organization serving high school and middle-level student councils in Texas. It develops leadership abilities in students and promotes democracy as a way of life. It really is an organization that we are built under, and it provides councils, rather than being their own individual council, an opportunity to spread out and meet people throughout the state, and as well as gives goals and projects to strive for throughout the year, such as our state project. Our state project is mental wellness this year. If they had it in their presentation, it encompasses the mental wellness of our schools. So the schools that are part of TAC we are in this project to push mental wellness and push the awareness of mental health in schools. And it considers the Maslow's hierarchy. Sorry, I didn't zoom into that, but if you can't see my lips, the logo.
So you can be in student council and not be a part of TASC, but being a part of the Texas Association of Student Councils, you have to meet a certain amount of requirements that your council does through like several committees, and we file state reports and things. But we just think that we'd like to try to inform you that it really benefits your council and your district and your school to be a part of TASC, because you're able to work with other schools and other districts across the state to unite towards one common goal. And along the way, just going to conventions and like meeting new people and having fun. So
yeah, like as Rachel was saying, we're here to encourage you to either have a student council if you don't have one, or to get a stronger one if you do. And a fantastic way to gain a stronger student council is to join things like TASC, because it unites you with people all across Texas who have the exact same goal.
And within TASC, we have gone to retreats, conferences, summer workshops, and this is where we get our student council out, and the students in our organization are able to meet people and learn and grow personally, meeting new people and making connections and improving their leadership skills at these conferences.
So really what we're here to talk to you about, we're kind of all over the place right now, but we want to teach you about how student council helps to affect and impact both a range of things with the individual, the school, your district, as well as your community. So it doesn't just affect one person or one group. It's not just the benefits don't just apply to those in the council immediately. It helps them internally to the council and affects a range of things. So we're going to get into that a little bit.
So I'm first. I'm in charge of individual, and so the first thing I'm going to do is share a little bit about why I joined student council. So my freshman year, I actually got tricked into joining student council, but it's probably one of the best things that's happened to me in high school so far. I was elected freshman class president in 8th grade, And our advisor, Miss Hancock, like we said, she's a little bit of a nut job. She texted me halfway through a retreat my freshman year. Of course, I'm already scared. Haven't even started high school. It's the middle of the summer. And she tells me I have to be here because I'm class president. And come to find out, they're completely two separate things. So now I'm class president and president of student council, and I've been a part of it ever since. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the way that individuals can grow because of the student council. So STUCO encourages and aids individual growth and personal development. It offers opportunities and mentorship through leadership and teamwork, life skills and preparation for success, and safety and belonging. So the first one we're going to talk about is leadership and teamwork. So we have a test called the True Colors Test. Raise your hand if you've ever heard of this test or taken this test.
So where you can't fail.
Yeah, you can't fail. There's no bad grades. So basically, the True Colors Test, it's used to help blend ideas, explore diverse personalities, build trust and friendship, and differences. So basically, what this test does is it's going to help you decide your personality color. So there's 4 colors, and I'm going to let you guys take it first before I explain what it means, just so I can hit you with it when you realize who you are. Okay, has everybody pretty much got a chance to finish up, find their colors? Close.
You can keep on working.
Keep on working. We're going to start talking about it a little bit. So personally, I'm a green-orange. This is actually kind of a rare combo. So greens are very logical, very methodical driven, and oranges are like the enthusiastic, running around spaz. So somehow I have both, but that's what makes me the leader I am.
Sure. I'm a gold personally. So a gold is very outgoing. The socialist, the social one, very quick and independent.
I'm a gold green, so I'm very organized and informational, that's what I focus on.
I'm a blue gold, so I'm very feelings oriented.
Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit more in depth with some. Here is a little bit of the character traits of these certain ones, and I'm going to tell you about them with some real life examples. So these are members of my council. Nobody tell them I'm talking about them. But so the first one I'm going to talk about is this is Abe. As you can tell, he's an orange. He is energetic. He's short-term driven. Can't get him to focus for anything. He's very change-oriented. He's adventurous. He brings enthusiasm to our council. He's quick with ideas. And Abe is our hype man. That's really what oranges are going to be for you. So at student council events, we have things called roll calls. And it's when you call all the names of the people in the district or whoever's attending the conference, and you do a little thing, a little song or a little presentation. And Abe is the one who screams for us, and he barks at the end. So that's just a little insight into what an orange is. And the fun thing about these colors is Abe is not all orange. He's also blue, and that's what kind of balances the personalities. So this is Boo. His name is actually Caleb, but his last name is Boujma, and we call him Boo. So he's a green, so the nickname is actually the exact opposite of what he likes. But Boo is very logical, he's independent, he's focused, he's methodical, and he's a great problem solver. He was actually our president before he graduated last year. Boo and I butted heads a lot because I'm also a green. So it's kind of a clash of two very strong ideas, but it's also a great way to lead a council. When you have those balance of ideas through blues and oranges and golds, they help to weed out the ideas that maybe be a little too headstrong, and they also help to drive the council. This is Mia. Mia was a gold. She was our president 2 years ago. She's focused, a rule follower. Golds are huge rule followers. She was responsible and organized. Mia was never unprepared. She was sort of bossy, but she always knew exactly what needed to be done and when it needed to be done. And she could always keep a group on task. That's probably one of the best leadership qualities Mia had. So this is our last one. This is Jamie, right here. She's a blue. Blues are emotional. They're very kind and they're other-oriented. So Jamie and I also butted heads a lot because greens are the exact opposite. But we've actually been friends since 3rd grade. So that just kind of goes to show that although they're very different personalities, it's the kind of the opposites attract sort of thing. Having all of these different personalities and all these different traits in a student council is really what makes it work. You have to have these different ideas, these different outlooks and stuff like that to make sure that these projects go for every single person at your school, for every single group, for every single minority, for all of the different diverse people that there are at your school, you have to have these types of leaders that can cater to these needs. Okay, so moving on to our next thing, life skills and preparation for success. So I broke this down into communication, networking, and basics. These are very important individual traits that high schoolers need to learn for success outside of high school. So we learn stuff like public speaking, which for me is a personal struggle, but look where I am right now. We traveled all the way from Bastrop, Texas just to talk to you guys, prepared for this, and I feel more comfortable in this room than I ever would have in my middle school days or my freshman year. So that's something that student council personally has really helped me with is public speaking. Collaboration. So like Taylor talked about a little bit earlier, we go to workshops. We go to state conventions, that's with people all over the state, workshops with our district. They're over the summer. People take time out of their summers to go and spend weeks at a time together. And this is just a great way to share ideas, to share messages, to share friendships. It's a great way to connect with people and students who have the same exact goal as you. The last one I'll talk about is, honestly, there's things like basics, like just writing emails that student council can help with. So one of mine is a few weeks ago, my school board took away our AP incentives. So basically, if we scored well on our AP test, we got the money, we paid for them back. And our school weights AP and college credit classes differently. So in order to keep a high rank, you must take an AP class, but then you must also pay almost $100 for an AP test. So I decided to write an email to our school board, and they actually overturned that rule yesterday, and I was introduced to the financial advisor, and they changed it for our entire district, just because student council taught me how to write a respectful and a reaching email that I could really connect with my school board, who made the decision, and I was able to connect with them, respectfully ask them, they were able to communicate with me, and we were able to make a change collaboratively. Oh, one more thing. Okay. You can also learn things like a firm handshake, which goes a long way. As adults know, a lot of kids have the fish hand nowadays. But you'll learn how to have a firm handshake, how to write a resume. You can also learn how to present yourself in a professional way, which, like I said, are all required for success outside of high school. Okay, my last one, and this one's a little bit more of a touchy-feely reason that student council can affect the individual. So safety and belonging are very important parts of student council. It's something we strive to create in all of our schools, in our district, in our community. A lot of students feel that high school is forced, that they have to come, that they have to do schoolwork, that they have to be with these people that they don't necessarily like. I know all of the students in here see everybody posting on social media about they don't want to go to school, they can't wait to graduate, senioritis. But student council is a way to make every student feel reached and understood. We go for inclusion and a love for school. So 2 examples I have of that is the No One Eats Alone project. So this is basically student council members go into the cafeteria, and if they see a student sitting by themselves, they'll go sit with them. And sometimes students don't want to be sat with. They may say no, but you just keep coming back and keep showing them that initiative, showing them that love, and they will eventually realize that this student really does want to be my friend. They want me to enjoy high school. They want to, and most of the time these kids will join student council. They'll end up being involved, having school spirit, loving what they're doing, and by the time they graduate, they're going to have tons of new friends. The second one, which is a little more just our school, is we have a very, very Remind. So this is something Alex actually came up with. And it's, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of Remind. It's an easy way to reach students without having numbers and all that kind of stuff. And basically, it was a peer-to-peer connection. I'm sorry. A peer-to-peer connection. I'm about to choke. A peer-to-peer connection that
Okay, cool. So it's a Remind, or almost, we kind of use it like a text message, but without having to actually use your phone number, so it's completely anonymous. And so there's about 4 or 5 student council members that have access to the Remind. And so we have flyers posted throughout our school that have like a Remind code. And so anyone can text the Remind or message the Remind, and they'll, one of the student council members will talk to them. And so it's basically peer support because we know what they're going through. And so if it's school or mental illness or absolutely anything, like they can talk to someone who is their age and who relates to them through this Remind. So that's why we thought it was so important.
Like she said, like a hotline to relieve stress and anxiety. Basically another person who understands. Okay, so one of the main things I wanted to do was put together a little bit of videos. It's only about a minute long, but this kind of just shows you that safety and belonging environment that we're going for within our two schools. Oh.
What does student council mean to you? Friendship.
Security.
Belonging.
How has student council changed your life?
Student
Council allows me the opportunity to get involved.
Students changed my life because when I first moved here, I just moved here this year, my senior year, and it helped me get involved with a bunch of things and meet a bunch of new people that I wouldn't have met before, and also allows me to experience everything that I wouldn't have coming in as a new student.
Student council has changed my life because at the beginning of junior year, I was a very shy student, but being involved made me realize that I could get out of my comfort zone and help the peers that surrounded me and being able to learn something different.
Student councils introduced me to a lot of new people that I otherwise probably would have never met.
Student council has changed my life in numerous ways. It's brought me closer with a lot of people, and it has helped me out with a lot of connections. And being able to meet so many different people and the atmosphere of it just really sends a positive vibe through like everything. So it just makes you a happier person. More social.
Sleep has been a place that has allowed me and encouraged me to become more connected with my peers and really connect with my schoolmates and actually care about what's happening on campus.
There you go. Sorry. Oh no, sorry.
What's next?
Everybody's on the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So, Rachel, do you have a dedicated period
Yes,
for
sir.
student council?
We actually have a few things. So we have, Cedar Creek has a fourth period student council class. You don't have to be in the period to be a part of student council, but it's just that extra for people who have the time and are able to dedicate more time to helping projects in the class period. That's how we're able to get a lot of our work done.
Okay.
But we also have like leadership classes and periods for people who are kind of like before student council. It's how they get like introduced to it. So it helps them with leadership and team building and things.
Okay.
But we have meetings Tuesdays.
Do y'all get elected the spring before or the first of the year?
The spring before is when we do officer elections. So we're actually going to come up on that. Well, our council is coming up on that pretty soon, and we're starting about who's running and things.
So you do you campaign?
It depends on, I mean, if you run unopposed, you still have to give a speech, and our advisors, like Mr. Meyer, disappeared.
Yeah.
He's going to get some tech.
He's going to, oh,
Let's know what's going on.
So how long is the campaign? Like a week?
Yes, ma'am. It's usually about a week long. We let people know in advance, like, hey, start thinking about, do you want to hold a position of office? Do you think you're ready to be a leader? The only requirements really is grade levels. So you have to be a junior or senior to run for president and vice president, I believe, right? And then everything else is sophomores.
Yeah, those
For
are the
officers?
level-wise.
Yes.
So freshmen elect freshman representatives, sophomore, or just does the whole school elect all the people? In other words, freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors vote for president?
So the thing I would say that somebody may be thinking is our district has a separation of student government and student council. So student government is class officers, class president, class secretary, stuff like that, which the student body elects.
Yes, so
student
grade
council.
levels.
And then student council, we have an application process. You apply to be in it. You have teacher recommendations, essays, kind of a preparation for almost applying to anything else you would outside of high school or inside high school for college, stuff like that. And then you're elected within the council.
Okay.
So I guess while we're fixing our technical difficulties, we can speak on what we have without the PowerPoint, because I was up next and I'm talking about the school and how student council benefits one school. So basically, I don't have the slides, so I can show you exactly what it all has, but it impacts, improves, and is an organization solely dedicated to the services of one school. We have Pride and Patriotism program. We have game tournaments, and then we also try to get a safe, belonging environment within our school. Top one.
That's okay. That's all right. That's all right.
If I had to look it up, I would choke up and push the wrong button too.
We're almost there.
We got it.
Oh,
I saw the deal up there. It said pretty, 8 steps to being pretty. I was thought we were going to go there.
Oh, yeah. Right, those steps.
We're not tracking all. Okay. School. It impacts the school in a broad spectrum. Improves and is built solely dedicated to our school. So I'm going to talk about the 4 committees that we have within student council and what we do and what our groups, what our projects are, strive in going for. So DASH is one of our committees, drugs, alcohol, safety, and health. The program is designed to prevent drug, alcohol, and tobacco abuse, and we conduct health awareness campaigns, and our state project is actually based on this committee, which is mental health and mental wellness. Mental Wellness Week is one of the projects that we do under our state project, as I mentioned earlier, and under DASH, the committee. In Mental Wellness Week, we handed out we celebrated Hi, How Are You Day, which is a day that we intentionally go around to people and ask, hi, how are you doing? Because not so often are people intentionally asked, how are you doing? We want to spark a conversation and grow that personal connection with somebody. So we handed out these little tie things you tie on your backpack with a bead, and just these little cards, and we asked people, hi, how are you? And we made little circles that have little facts on them about mental health and mental wellness. We put posters everywhere, and we made a Take What You Need board with little sticky notes about what you do. It's really cool to see and get to know people when you go up to somebody and ask, hi, how are you? So if one challenge to take out of this would be to go up to somebody and ask, hi, how are you doing? But with more intention to build a connection. These are the pictures. And then here's some more examples. Our Valentine's Day little note cards for everybody in our school. Our Christmas ornaments for everybody. We wrote for everybody. And then our human trafficking awareness campaign,
which was last year's state service project.
Next committee is energy and environment. We do a lot of our projects under this one in terms of recycling and raising awareness to the environment and our energy conservation efforts. Within this committee, what we do is obviously recycling. At my school, we recycle every Wednesday, and we go out. We have a committee. Our energy and environment committee goes out, recycles, goes to every class, gets the stuff, and sorts and deposits the recycling into the bins and takes it out. These are pictures of Bastrop High School and their trash days and stuff like that.
So we would have Trash Tuesday every Tuesday, and like a competition between who could collect the most trash around the high school. And then on that one, we made a garden kind of behind our portable. And then right here, we did a competition with our Key Club, who could do the best recycle of the Christmas tree.
Next committee is Pride and Patriotism. I would say a lot of our projects are based around this committee because it's just so easy in one school to be focused on this. In this committee, it's improving school pride, not only school pride, state pride, country pride, pride in an individual. So some examples of what we do is a big one, homecoming, as every other school does. But with our homecoming, we twist it a little, and these are our themes. This is like Pajama Mama Monday. This is our wonderful advisor wearing a sloth onesie. That's our mascot.
Everyone should have one.
These are our dress-up days, and this is our theme. It was a circus, the greatest homecoming on earth. To improve school pride within our school. Another example are our Pink Out and Hope Strong games. Hope Strong, it will be mentioned later, as you can see by these shirts, more in depth, but is a campaign we do in September for Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And then Pink Out, as every other school, we make t-shirts for everybody. And Pride and Patriotism is getting our whole school involved. And because one of the big things we have an issue with in schools a lot of the times, or in districts anywhere, is school pride and getting people to participate and want to participate. So we get this through this trust and belonging that we implement through DASH, and trying to get people know that they trust us and belong to our school. And within that, they can have fun and print pictures. And then there's our dodgeball tournament that we have. A lot of fun. And last is community service. So in this one, it's getting our students out into the community and service within everybody and all that. One of the big things we do is nursing home Christmas decorating. We go to the nursing home and we decorate the doors, and it's very nice because we each get our own door, and seeing the people light up, and they're so big, the elderly like it because some people don't get visitors or something like that. And putting a little present on their door, it's a lot of fun. And then these are some other examples. Our Christian's Closet, our cupcakes are here, and then for Hurricane Harvey, we went out to our local community near us, LaGrange, and helped out. Next is district.
Sorry, we're a little crunched for time now, so I'm going to go into as much detail.
Yes. All right. So ultimately, we felt that the district leadership is the backbone for every school's success. And so, like sister schools, feeder schools, central offices, they're all separate parts of a district, and they don't. It only stays that way. So if I told you to think of an average Texas district, you're probably thinking of a high school that doesn't communicate very well with its middle school, or rival schools that don't have a great relationship, or school boards that hear thousands of complaints from students every day. But student council can completely flip that stereotype, and it's summed up in 3 simple statements. So it's young leaders, unity, and student voice. So first I'm going to talk about young leaders. So for high school students are still obviously young leaders, but I'm talking about even younger than that, so middle school students in this circumstance. And so they're not born young leaders no matter how many times we try to tell them, oh, you're such a natural born leader. It's truly grown from influence. And so if they see a cool kid, an older kid, doing bad things like alcohol or drugs, they're going to think, I need to do that so I can be cool too. But they could also be seeing a cool kid, an older kid, volunteering and being inclusive and spreading kindness throughout their community with student council. And they could be doing that instead. And so our councils stress this interaction with our middle schools, and we plan and organize meetings for our middle schools and intermediate schools where we tell them about student council and all the cool things we get to do with student council. And because we begin this connection so early and we teach them leadership and how fun it is to be involved and how you can still be a cool kid without drugs and alcohol, it truly teaches them like what it means to be a leader and encourages them to be a part of student council. And so we see it as they're going to grow these role models no matter what. So if we implement student councils in our district and within their schools, it will grow a positive one rather than negative one. Next, I'm going to talk about unity. So not unity between your school, but unity between your district. And so unity as in schools able to come together and be a part of something and something bigger than themselves. And no matter grade, race, or gender, or school they attend, students feel like they can do something bigger than themselves. And so student council is a perfect outlet for that. And one example is our StuCos. Our student councils work together to host the Texas Association of Student Councils annual state convention, where we held a statewide convention for over 5,000 students and advisors. And it was pretty crazy. For a brief overview of how it was, we had a year to plan it all. It became a day and a half early just to set up. And we had to learn a 3-minute long dance routine to Believer by Imagine Dragons, which will forever be burned into our brain now.
We had capes too.
Yeah.
Capes.
Yeah.
And a choreographer, a whole choreographer.
Yeah. And so those long, hard days, they ultimately created friendships and bonds that we'll never forget. And so some few things that happened is one of our friends, Erasmo, none of us will ever forget him coming out of the pool and running and slipping, but still managing not to drop his drink. And then also Zoe singing the national anthem at the top of her lungs in our hotel room. And then just all of our councils, or both of our councils, sitting on the hot tub just having a great time, enjoying life. So those are memories that we're never going to forget because we're part of student council and because we do things together. And TASB is the entire reason that we were able to grow that close, considering we did we held the state convention for TASB, and so we kind of talked about it earlier, and it's a great organization to be a part of, and we encourage all student councils. So if you do have a student council, we encourage y'all to talk to your student council and get them a part of TASB so they can experience the same thing that we were able to. Okay, and that's just one of the 100 things that we do with our student council. We attend conventions together. We hold competitions where we raise food for a local food pantry, like this one right here. So it was a peanut butter and jelly contest. They did peanut butter, we did jelly. And then we even, okay, and then we hold general sessions just like this one together. And then finally is student voice. So many districts have the issue of students not being involved with their decision and hearing complaints, or district decisions and hearing complaints for them. And so STUCO is the easy solution for that. It's an easy and direct platform to communicate and get input from students. So whenever our principal or superintendent or administration needs volunteers or student feedback, all they have to do is contact student council. There's many times where there's some need for community service or to attend school board meetings or to add ideas to district decisions, and student council is always at their convenience. But not only is it an easy outreach for administrators, but it's also a great outreach for students. So me and Zoe both, the other day, we went to a school board meeting, and so we sat at a school board meeting, and they asked our opinions for multiple things, and it was great knowing that they cared about our opinion and they wanted to hear what we had to say, and they actually took it into action and we made sure to take note of it. But that confidence, we would have never grown. That confidence to go to the school board meeting and talk to them, we would have never grown if it wasn't for student council.
Community. Okay, I got the scraps of time. How much minutes? 10 minutes. So does that mean I have 5?
We answered some questions in that little in-between section. You're good.
Okay. Well, very quickly, so the community. So student council is very heavily focused on the community as well as the school, the district, and the individual. For student council, we some benefits are we're allowed to serve our community and post projects to interact with the community. So there are other organizations like the National Honor Society and other things. We're all pretty much all involved in it too. But one unique thing about STUCO is that there's not exactly requirements that you have to have so many hours or so many projects to remain in it, but it's more of a thing that we do of our own accord. So we plan projects. Whenever we plan projects, we have a goal in mind. We have an intention, what does our community need? So like I said earlier, Cedar Creek isn't exactly a town. It's more like school districts schools, elementary schools and middle schools
We're very spread out.
Yes, we're spread out.
About 15 minutes to get anywhere.
25 for me. But so we go out into Bastrop with Bastrop a lot to see how we can accommodate to our community and what things we can do for them. So click this.
Pretty good.
Okay. I'm kind of not really paying attention to the slides right now.
This is a big thing we do.
Yeah, so Hope Strong. This is the pride and joy of Bastrop. This is pretty much what we're known for.
This is
besides fires.
And floods.
And floods. We had a flood right after the fire. Okay, so Hope Strong, if you see our little collection of shirts, it's a campaign created and executed in honor of, for the reason, so we have Bridget and Nikki. So they're 2 girls from our school, and they were diagnosed with a type of brain cancer. And it just, being from such a, we are a 5A school, but being from such a kind of compact community, it's something that really affected us. And it's just got us thinking, what can we do to help? So we made Hope Strong. Hope Strong is held in September, Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And it's executed through the selling of shirts and getting donors from across the community, big businesses, see that later.
It's our whole district it's connected within this, and it's a community-wide event. Our whole community goes out.
Yes.
It's for St. Jude too.
And for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. hospital, and we managed to raise $20,000 a year, $100,000 total that's been given to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. We're pretty proud of that.
We encourage this and
Yeah,
a lot of
Yeah, and each of these are from different years.
Yeah.
So we've done
these
this
are all
for
of our
a few
shirts.
years.
These are the
We have a new one every year.
yes.
And so for Gold Out, what we do, it's like Peak Out essentially. It's a week-long thing dedicated to we use our rivalry to our advantage in this sense to see who can raise the most money, get ready for the big Gold Out game. So I didn't put pictures.
At the rivalry game, each school golds out and we share stadium, so it's we're both at our own stadium, golding out. I think that's a game where
We fight for the home side.
Yes. That's a game where that's the most people show up, and it's a lot of fun. I think it's awesome to see everybody come together in this fight against cancer with Gold Out and Hope Strong. And
even if you don't even if you don't go on this big grand scale of creating a whole new project, it's really just about student council accommodating to your community. What affects you personally. And as well as that, going off of that is Christian's Closet. It's one thing that Bastrop High School started after the passing of a 2016 graduate, Christian Harmon. He had an enlarged heart and passed away. And one of the things that they wanted to do something in honor of Christian as well. So they said that Christian would have given you the clothes off his back. He was that kind of person. So they started a clothing,
Almost like a Goodwill or
yes,
somewhere, or like a Red
Goodwill.
Cross station, somewhere where the students can bring clothes home if they need to, get clothes if they need to, that kind of thing.
So it started with just a little rack inside their student council portable, and it's expanded to Cedar Creek High School and Bastrop High School do it, and we provide clothing to the whole community. It's free of charge. We take donations from anywhere and everywhere on the daily, and we just we have both sections in our school where people are able to come and take what they need.
I'm not going to play a video because we know what happened last time.
Aww.
But we actually got interviewed. Do you want to play it?
Yeah, we can play it. I just pressed the wrong button.
All right.
Yeah.
I have PTSD.
Click what? I don't trust myself. That's not it.
Sorry.
Yeah, put it on there.
So Bastrop was interviewed by the news for Christian's Closet.
Technical difficulties.
Always. All right.
Well, we're so sorry about this. But, so this will be a video of the news clips that Bastrop.
Bastrop High School starts the school year tomorrow. A group of students there have been working on a project, a labor of love after a big loss this summer. A 2016 graduate died unexpectedly.
This year, the Bastrop High School Student Council is trying something new.
We help our school, whatever we can do.
It all stems from a tough summer.
Christian was my older brother. He passed away. It was hard to lose him.
While fishing on the coast, Christian Harmon's heart stopped. An autopsy revealed an enlarged heart, something his family never knew.
Not something that you expect out of a 19-year-old to have a heart condition, but God has a plan, I guess.
The thing is, Christian's heart was bigger than Texas.
2 weeks before he passed away, I got my wisdom teeth taken out. I couldn't drive. He took me to eat one day, and then we went over to Elgin General Store and got cowboy hats.
A good friend said something else after his funeral.
He gives a shirt off his back to give to some kid. I mean, that gets it down to a T.
That statement led to an idea.
I did not know that it's going to be this big. We have people every day that come and knock on our door that are here to donate anything.
They've already helped a foster family and hope their service project will inspire others.
Maybe start something at your school, change up something, and give something that means a lot to you.
Caitlin says it's what Christian would have done.
So there's another news clip, but we do not have time.
So many more things, but they're on YouTube.
What button did you press on not pressing?
Press escape. No, do not press escape.
Yeah, these are just some ways that we, like I said, accommodated to our community. Just saying what you need. So we have 3 minutes left. Does anybody have any more questions?
So this is an overview of what student council does and why we want y'all, why student councils are good in one's district, and why, if you don't have strong student councils, pushing them and being the one, which is our motto for both of our student councils that just happen to be coincidentally the same.
So, do you guys have any questions for us? I know we had a few technical difficulties, but we really appreciate you guys sticking through with us, coming to see us present, and listening to our stories.
Y'all did a great job.
Thank you.
I think it's really impressive the fact that you've got two different high schools. There is that crosstown rivalry, but y'all kind of leverage that and keep that community mindset in mind. That because once you graduate, if you move 3 streets over or a mile down the road, you may be having kids in the other one, but it's still that same community, and those are the people you grew up with, and I think that's really in some ways unique to the way you work together.
And that's honestly what it's about. I mean, we are 5A schools, so we are fortunate to have that amount of people, but we are a pretty small town thing. It's just doing what you can for the people around you, and for us it happened to evolve, and that's what it's meant to do.
Any more questions? Thank you guys. You did awesome.
Thank you guys so much.